Welcome to Whispers from the Inn, an unofficial Warcrow production. Join your innkeepers as they discuss all things Warcrow, the tabletop miniatures combat game by Corvus Belli.
Welcome, everyone, to our episode of from Whispers from the Inn. I'm Jason. We have Scott. We have JP. We have Jake. We are back, and we are ready to talk more Warcrow. We are energized. We are ready to go. We've all had busy weeks, and now we get to talk about our favorite game. How's it everybody doing tonight, guys?
Doing good.
Doing
real good.
Good, yeah. Better now that we can talk about Warcrow.
Exactly. Absolutely. Scott.
Yes.
Speaking of, what are you working on? What are we all working on?
So for hobby time, let's talk about some hobby time here a little bit. Right now, most of my time has been specifically focused on planning out, designing, and making sure we're ready for Adepticon tables because we're going to be having several Warcrow events at Adepticon in 2026 in Milwaukee. So I've been working on basically designing all those tables and started printing already. So mainly focused all on that right now.
And sign up is only a couple months away.
Yes,
It's crazy
right
to
around
think
the
that's
corner.
so close now, and then the mad dash on Saturday happens. Where
It is
everybody
going
starts
to
getting
go
registration
quickly.
in.
Mad dash and crash is what you got to call it.
Yep,
Mad dash
and speaking of mad dash, Jake is working feverishly.
I have my own Adepticon, so to speak. But so 9 days away from the Chicagoland Warcrow tournament that I'm very excited about. Also decided to run a tournament the same week my thesis is due. So it's been just a wonderful time with time management and all that fun stuff. But I'm very excited about it.
Sleep is optional, right? Like
Optional. It's an optional thing.
Or
You still have a little kid at home. That's
Yes, I just also have a child under 2 years old, and so I just keep making those willpower checks, and I keep succeeding, and I'm happy.
Nice.
That's a good way to put it, for sure.
for my hobby time. I got the rest of my Feudom put together because they finally arrived and got them primed. And I made the crazy choice of reteaching myself how to paint non-metallic metals after 5 years away from painting.
That is bold.
And so we will see how much I get done before the tournament in 9 days.
Yeah.
See, you're going big. Like I am which contrast can I use, and which metallic contrast can I use? Which actually I think the silver looks really good. So
some of the troops might be getting some of that.
Yeah, it can happen. You can finish them later, right? You just get it for now. My problem, my pile is so vast, as I can't decide on what to paint. So whether it's tribes, whether it's Feudom, whether it's Scions, it's not Syenne, and I'm not in the green mold of things. My friends here say it should be tribes.
Tribes.
So
Yes, tribes.
it's
They're my babies, my underrepresented babies.
probably Battle Scar is going to be one of the first because I don't see them leaving the table in many lists. They're that
Correct.
good.
Good.
Lotta might be close second.
She's
Pretty good in them. Although I played her inside of Orcs this past weekend.
Yeah,
and that was pretty good too.
Yeah,
And I had a Wrathmane in with the Battle Scarred, and that was pretty good. And I discovered Ice Archers giving out slow, triggering Battle Scarred abilities was pretty darn good too.
Yes,
and
it
you
is.
can warg and crow them, so you can
Yep.
ice archers and then charge in with
Yep. It was I was down and I was not out, and ended up being a 7-7 tie.
Nice.
But that's okay.
So in tonight's episode, we are going to be going through the November releases. We're going to look at some concept art. We're going to look at the renders, and we're going to look at the studio models. And then we're also going to look at their stat cards that have come out. Jason, you want to get us started with some Feudom?
Absolutely. We've got the Feudom officers. So we've got the Magister and the Commander. So the first thing we're going to pop up here, especially for all those that are listening and cannot see, we are looking at the Magister first. And here comes his concept art. He's got a big club. Well, we call that a mace, a triple mace.
Flail. Is that a
Morning
flail or a
Star.
mace?
See, I
Morningstar?
need to get up on my
Morningstar?
I need to get up on my medieval weaponry, evidently. A menacing looking older gentleman, from what I've been told.
Yes, old enough to get his AARP card as a
New lore, new lore, new
New lore.
lore. He is an older gentleman, like 70 years old, and he can still take care of things evidently on the battlefield. And I love the shoulder pauldron, the wolf shoulder pauldron. I love anything with like animals. It's I don't know. It's probably why I love Albork so much, and I wish he was cheaper, so I could play him more. Or I just have to find some love for him. But I love that stuff. That's probably why I like it, like being a tribes player, because I like that lore part of it as well. So we have our concept art, which gets us to our fantastic sculpt, as always. Very menacing, very action-packed, so to speak. A lot of great details. I've seen a lot of awesome comments in discords and stuff, just about people painting and look at the details and just loving the details. And that's what we come to expect from Corvus Belly. But
So far with every release I've seen, I am personally more and more impressed every time they're
Yes.
sharing new stuff.
and you'd expect it to get better and better, right?
Yep.
Well, and the amount of detail we are getting in these Unicool models is just insane.
It just
Yes.
makes you excited to put paint on it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have a great sculpt, we have a great model, but now we need to see what he can do with that mace and that shield. But first, I'm getting ahead of myself. We do have the painted model, and we were talking about this earlier. The studio artists, there's I guess multiple of them, from what we sort of understand. I'm so used to like the old Infinity days of where Angel was the guy.
Back when
And,
Angel painted everything.
Yeah, when he
It
was
looked
just the guy. He was the guy, and now there's multiple people. So fantastic. This is NMM at its probably one of its bests. Mine will never look like this. That's why I contrast paint my metallics. And I'm sure JP's will look exactly like this when it's done.
One will.
One will, maybe one leg. I
one
will
leg.
personally not be trying the awesome wolf. I would assume a wolf, since his pauldron's a wolf. I will be trying to find a decal if I ever do anything like that, because that is not in my wheelhouse at all. So let's see what he can do with his mace, his tri-mace, his shield. We do have the Magister. He is a 40-point unit. He is high command, human, a knight, noble, and has dispel blue and black, and he can join some other infantry. His movement's pretty, what I would say is fairly common. I've seen through Feudom, except for the unit. I think there's a unit that has a 4/3, right? It's not the Gusimeres, but it's I think it's the other
I
one.
think the Guardians are 3/3.
Yeah. I think Guardians are pretty quick. He's got a 2/3 move, non-charge. This is a 4-wound model. He's got a red and a yellow dice for his whip roll. Morale 2, and you can, of course, only take one of him. Conquest value of 1. His attack is a red, 2 orange, and also is bringing 2 blue on his attack roll. He has a hollow special that's just going to add a hit and a defense to your roll. That is pretty good.
That's extremely good. To get
That's
2
very good.
symbols in exchange for 1, that's really good.
Yeah, that's pretty fantastic. I mean, I can imagine you're going to look for some stuff that can give you hollows somehow, potentially. But and then on our defense side, we have a green, 3 blues, and our filled in special. We're adding a block to the roll. Pretty solid defense. So you can get some stuff through on his attack, but he's very, very defensive when he is off on his lonesome. I was reading his command ability earlier, and it is quite good, very unique. So it is called Follow Suit. you do not have to have line of sight to your target. So once per round, you target an allied unit, neither noble nor knight. At the end of the activation of an allied noble or knight unit, the target performs the action, simple or long, in parentheses, that has been declared by the activated unit. Before we move on, gentlemen, what do we think of this
I
command
think it's
ability?
super strong.
I
It's
think
super
that is
strong.
the action economy we've been waiting for in Feudom.
It's a mini Worgen Crow.
Actually,
Or
I'd
alt-
argue that
alternate.
this is better
Yeah.
than Worgen Crow, because doesn't Worgen Crow only limit to,
Has to be an orc and then a variant or vice versa.
and it's only a simple action, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. Because I think I've done full. Oh, yes, it is. It is because I've been engaged. Yes. You
So
have
in
to
this
be
case, it's you can do so in this case, number one, the key points for me are there's no range. So this can be anywhere on the board. And not only is it the target unit you're picking has no range, but the target unit has no range to the noble or knight unit that triggers their ability to do this. So you're going to have one over on this side of the table and the other on this side of the table, and a magister all the way in the back, and still use this. Which I think is JP. I think you said it exactly right. It's the action economy that Feudom has not had until now.
Yeah. It'll be cool to see how it goes if they potentially get any other ambushers or scouts. Allows them to get a lot of movement pretty quick.
Yeah, I think it's a cool ability. I mean, we've all been playing war games long enough to know that action economy is extremely important to every war game. So, like, when you have something like that, that's that powerful, it's always a good thing. But you also have to have command points to spend, which leads us to his passive, which is called Two Arms, and it does have the permanent keyword, which does mean, and this is new, I really haven't paid attention to this too much, but which basically means that if the Magister dies, it is still out there, which is why it's important. It stays in the game, essentially.
Or the other two pieces to that is even if he's not deployed yet, so if he somehow has decided to join a unit that's scouting, and the scouts haven't deployed at the beginning of the game, at the end of deployment, it still is active.
Yeah.
You can
And
choose to
even
have
when
it be
he's
active.
thank you. And even when he's joined to a unit, usually most of the skills in the solo portion aren't active, except this one is because it's permanent.
Yep. So what it states is when an allied unit that is neither noble nor knight deploys on the battlefield, gain 1 command token up to a maximum of 4 command tokens gained through this ability. So you got a little bit of list chicken going on here.
This is, I think, the first time we've ever seen adding command tokens beyond
Correct.
at the beginning of the game.
Yep. And it makes sense why he doesn't bring any on his card.
Oh yeah,
Or-
agreed.
That's an interesting interaction with Ishmael. Because Ishmael lets you deploy later in the game.
I think like even with any ambusher, if you've got an ambusher, if you've got a scout that you pull in, anything like that will trigger this.
Yeah, it's not, doesn't say it has to be on turn 0. It says when you deploy on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. So that's the top side. When he attaches, or we have the same whip roll, we're adding 1 to our morale, pretty common. He is bringing an orange and a blue to the attack. On the defense, he is bringing a blue and a filled-in special. More importantly, his conquest value goes up to 2. And what we are adding on the bottom side is yes, Magister. This is a command ability. And once per roll during the switches step, add a symbol of your choice to your roll. Pretty good. We still have follow suit on the bottom side. And the difference is your passive is going to be noble lineage, which is gaining the noble characteristics. So when you attach, you are gaining a command ability, you're gaining a different passive, and you still have follow suit, and you were losing 2 arms.
So that noble lineage is what it's granting noble to the unit that's joined.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if he joins a Gesarmier unit, they now become noble.
Now I always get tripped up on this. Does to arms now no longer count if he's joined?
Correct.
No,
it's covered up, right?
no, hold
oh,
on.
no, it still does
because
count?
it's permanent.
Because it's permanent. That's why.
Ah,
that's
so
why I
that's
always
it's
get
labeled
super
as
tricked.
permanent.
Okay.
So it's the one time abilities of the officer are kept is when they're permanent.
Okay.
So
Well,
be
the other,
any
the other
right.
thing to pay attention to with this guy is, so far, I think all the characters we've seen have added to their unit's conquest. And maybe this will need to be clarified, but that's
Oh,
just
yeah,
a
it's just
2, not a
two.
+2.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
he
I
sets
think
his
that-
unit's conquest to 2.
I think that needs to be at least asked to
Yes.
Corvus Belli to confirm.
That could be a
That's
FAQ.
a
Is
good-
You
that
know
is
what?
that intended, or should there be a plus?
So I'm curious. I'm gonna go into the Corvosphere since they just updated it.
He's not
I
out
don't-
there yet, I don't
He's
think.
not out there yet.
He's
I
not,
don't
oh,
think
now
they-
no, because he's a November guy,
He's
so
November.
that wouldn't matter. Yeah, I guess we'll find
I'll
out.
put out. Yeah, I can put out some feelers. And
Yeah,
see
put out some feelers. Ask the hires ups
what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
on that.
So to me, like just talking about the Magister, if I'm running Feudom, this is absolutely a very strong consideration for my high command.
Is he attack? Do you join him?
I think
Is he
it depends
automatic
on the.
join?
I think it depends on the makeup of the rest of the army.
That's still a mechanic that I'm trying to figure out, is like joining versus not. I'm not very good at that right now. All right. That is the Magister. Super cool looking model. Has some really good tricks up his sleeve. But we have to talk about the other unit that comes in this box. And we have the Feudom Commander, the big boy. We have seen this before. He's a big dude. Again, we have another animal on the pauldron, which I'm gonna guess is an animal that is somewhat unique to Lindworm, because it doesn't fully look like an animal that I recognize fully.
Is that a bull?
It's a bull, isn't it?
Is it a
I think it's
bull?
I think it's a bull.
Okay. I could get that. The one on the right on the staff actually has like a ring around the nose, which could say bull. I give it to you. He's an athletic looking fellow.
He reminds me of.
He's definitely D line. Put him on D line.
No, yeah, he's definitely D-line. He's not athletic enough to play
Let's
O-line.
say he reminds me of the mountain who rides from Game of
Yes.
Thrones.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he was
And
that thick though.
I think that's what they were looking for.
Yeah, he's a chunky boy, and he looks very angry. I love the drawing on the right, the face. It's very
Yes.
very good. The scars are very.
He looks
obviously,
very
he's been
Game of
through a lot.
Thronesy, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And here's our sculpt. That I'm loving. Like, we're getting a lot of like weapons that have animals on them. I can't name all of them. I just know I've seen a few. Obviously the war rig is the one that comes to mind. With the head that's on its hammer, so to speak.
The piece about this I love, and it took me a little bit to notice it, is the head of the hammer is what is the animal sculpt.
Yep.
It's not like it's built into with a flat piece. That's it. He is clubbing you with the head, well, the sculpted head of a bull.
So he could potentially be goring you with it too, right?
He could be, yeah.
Could be.
That's the DM in me. There's some piercing damage and some bludgeoning damage going on.
Yes.
Absolutely. So
Let's see
what
what it
can
looks
this
like
chunky
painted.
boy can do? I'm getting ahead of myself again, guys. I only looked at these PowerPoints one time, so I got to write down the order. Here's our painted model. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place tonight, guys. Here's our painted model. Again, there's lovely text on his pauldron that I will not be doing. I am not that talented. But I'm all about the red beard. I got a red beard, so I'm all about
I love the splash of gold into this too.
Yeah.
Like that golden metal to really separate from like some of the other knights that we have seen, will be seeing. It helps him stand out.
There's just so many great little details that they put into all of these paint jobs. The striping on the tunic is just fantastic.
Yeah. Yep. Looking just below his belt as well as
Just below his belt
upper
and the
arm.
sleeves.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna be a fun
Really
one to
good.
paint. He's gonna be a fun
Really
one to
good.
paint. Absolutely. All right. The commander. He is 25 points. He's bringing one command token to the game. We are a 3/2 move with an 8 charge. He's a 3 wound model, 2 orange dice on his whip roll, and morale of 2 and availability of 1. He is a character human, knight, noble, conjoined infantry, and a spellcaster, which you would not, particularly based on the look of this guy, would be your first thought.
He's a muscle wizard.
He's a muscle wizard. I love it.
Yep.
I love it. Well, he is a wizard, but he can bring a punch to a engaged combat. Red dice, 2 orange and a yellow, pretty decent stats, and he's also bringing a blue dice on the block, on the defense roll with on his attack. We have 2 filled in specials, which is going to add a hit to your roll. His defensive dice are a green, 3 blues. We have a hollow special for a switch, which adds a block to your roll. He has a conquest value of 1. His spell that he's bringing is Psalm of the Waning Moon. It states target an allied unit within 7 strides. It has a duration of 2 turns, and the target adds +1 to their conquest value. Again, another ability that helps Feudom out in the conquest value. We've seen a couple of different abilities on different models thus far that do that, which this game's all about conquest and the conquest value. Our passive, the right hand, once per activation, targeting an allied noble or knight unit within 7 strides at the end of the target's activation. If the target passes a whip test, it may rest or suffer 1 stress to perform a skill or move. Or action economy. On the bottom, when he's attached, where we have a whip of 1 yellow dice, he adds 1 to the morale. We're doing 1 orange dice in the attack roll, 1 blue dice in the defense, and we do have a different command ability when he is attached. It won't fail. When an objective within 12 strides controlled by your company is contested, reduce 1 the total conquest value of the rival company. If the total value is reduced to 0, the rival company cannot take control of an objective. Yes, please.
That's pretty good.
That could be a very clutch ability.
This type of stuff is what makes games where you have to control objectives. That's the cool stuff. Like, it's like, oh, cool, you have that? No, you don't. I love games that have that mechanic.
Especially if you can use this in the bottom of a turn that's about to end the round, and your opponent moves into towards the last objective that they're trying to flip to their side to get the points during the scoring of that round. You can say, hold on a minute, not so fast.
Well, and there's a lot of things that only have 1 conquest.
Yep.
It's so good. I mean, especially if you're, I don't know, anytime you can do that, it's just so demoralizing. And I just want to, from a mechanic standpoint, just because I'm a little rusty and you guys play a little bit more, it won't fail. You can do that out of his activation. Correct? So
yes,
that
correct.
You can spend that whenever.
Because it's triggered specifically at the end of an opponent's activation or your own activation, honestly, that when an objective within 12 strides, that's it. When it's about to be controlled. Oh, I'm sorry, it has to be controlled by you. So as long as you have it.
Yep.
But you check for control if one of your units ends the activation within range of the objective or your opponent's. So it can either be in your turn or their turn.
And it's got good range too.
12 strides is nothing to sneeze at.
No, not at all.
They seem to be doing a lot currently, what we've seen with the last 2, right? A lot of command control, right? Giving, or just like high command with not the keyword, but like giving a lot of conquest is what I'm saying. A lot of high conquest values and buffing conquest values. And then now he can negate the conquest value of opponents. which, like,
Pretty good.
hegemony is really good at their control and their conquest, but this allows the feudom to maybe start competing with them and debuff their conquest abilities.
Yep. Super cool mechanic, super cool looking model. He's definitely going to be playing center for the Feudom football team. All right, moving on. We have Genevieve. Jesus, look at this art. Ugh. On the right side. That's just fantastic. That is just really good
It's
art.
so good.
I
So
want a
good.
display of that, of just that.
Yes, and her chest plate is gorgeous. Like it's very, I don't know, majestic, striking,
Ornate.
Some would say
beautiful dwarven
dwarven
armor that he has.
And speaking of ornate, let's see what that ornate looks like painted. That's pretty awesome. We've seen a few comparisons to a certain Infinity model. I'm not gonna lie. This might be Joan's sister or cousin or
Genevieve.
Genevieve. I think yes, that's what it's been called. I could say that. I was a Pano player, so I'm good. Absolutely, give me another Jones sculpt. I'm all about it. Look at the shin guard. That is just the detail. So awesome, so cool. And she's got a nice big spiky spear.
Yeah.
That's
And even
going
if you
to-
don't do non-metallic metals, like I can say somebody who really loves dry brushing and advanced dry brushing styles, they dry brush really nice too. So even if you're not a non-metallic, like the person like myself, they dry brush really nice.
Yep,
with all that nice detail.
Absolutely. I'm also a dry brush person as well. I'm a contrast paint dry brush. That's usually my order. All right, Genevieve, the Countess of Scion. I'm going to say Scion.
Yep.
She's 40 points, brings 2 command tokens, move a 3/2, charge a 9, 4 wound model, whip roll of a red and a yellow, morale 2, availability 1. Character, high command, human, a knight, noble, has a dispel ability of a green dice and can join knights or infantry. So we've added in knights here.
That's actually it has to be knights and infantry.
Knight and infantry, right.
Yep.
Or is the line.
The line, the pipe.
Yep. Her attack dice is a red 2 yellow and a defensive die of a green, and she does have an auto hit. We all love our auto hits and defensive stuff. Our filled in special is your target receives the disarm state, and our hollow hit can cancel up to 2 blocks from your target. Pretty good.
That is good.
Defensive dice, green, 2 blues and a black. Hollow shield, we're canceling up to 2 hits from your attacker. Also pretty good. We have a passive Order of the Vine, which is also permanent. Does not need line of sight. Target all the allied knight units. The target may repeat up to 2 dice from their defense rolls.
Cool.
And that's pretty good.
You're not going to be moving any knight units anywhere.
No,
wow.
let's just stay here. And we repeat is reroll in this game. So when you see the word repeat, it is reroll. Could be confused of you repeating a dice that you have already rolled, which was my first interpretation of it. When she is joined, she has a whip of a red and a yellow, +1 in the morale. She is bringing through the attack and auto hit and a filled in special. On the defense, we have a block and a filled in special, and she is now bringing a command ability on the attached side. For Scion, at the end of your activation, target another allied unit within 12 strides. The target activates to perform one of the following actions: move, charge, or assault. If the target passes a whip test, it adds 1 orange to its attack rolls until the end of its activation. And the last passive, Fierce Willpower. You cannot be demoralized. If you are stressed above your morale value, ignore the excess stress.
Yep. She's pretty cool.
So that one's interesting because that doesn't say remove the stress. So because you're ignoring the fact that you're over your morale, you're not making the willpower check. The willpower check is what reduces your stress back to equal to your morale, whether you pass or fail. if there's ever an ability out there that says take damage based on your level of stress on your unit,
Yes.
that could backfire.
It could. You can't get too greedy with it. You have to know what you're playing against.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I think that might be one of the things that some players might not realize when they're looking at the card. They might just say, "Oh, I'm supposed to gain a stress, but because it doesn't matter, I'm not going to put it on the card."
Yeah.
No, you need to put it on the card because that can be important later.
Now, and I would assume this also means that all the other rules still apply. Like I can't keep activating and adding stress because I still
Correct.
have the rule of that I cannot go above my morale on purpose.
Yes,
It's just if
that-
you're
yeah, that
even
rule still
Steven and
applies.
if you get hit and you lose your combat, you get a stress, but you don't get demoralized. Essentially, is
But you don't even have to make the test.
correct. You don't even have the
Yeah.
test.
Yep.
Pretty good, pretty strong. Those are our Feudom officers. A lot of cool stuff, but we have to move on to those ugly Scions.
Don't let Hoopu hear you say that too
No,
loudly.
I know she loves them and they're cool. I don't know how to play them. That's my problem.
She will
Well-
threaten you with La Chancla.
Well, you
Jake,
you
take
gotta
us away.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta hand it to the Scions, because they could use all the hands to build stuff. But speaking of our Scions and all of our oogly booglies, I do have my eye on the first one, which is the Tudor, who has some wonderful eyes on its model. They're just so cool. I love the aesthetic. And the Tudor is just, it's fun. Also, I feel like a lot of the models, the aesthetics were spoiled for us with adventures. So it's really fun getting like the Tudor and then like the set of models we're getting in December, because they're like models we've not seen at all.
Yep.
And that's just very exciting. And of course, named characters. But the Tudor is just crazy. Like he's got like that Lovecraftian, like he's got just scrolls of text where the feet should be. He's got tomes, and he's got his eyes. The optic nerve is just extended out and holding the two eyes.
It's so creepy. I love it.
It's just so cool. And then the artwork for it, like the actual on the left, oh no, the
Sorry.
right, it's like they added in all the it's like slimy and stuff. Oh, it's just so cool.
Is that
I
tinge? Is that tinge?
I
kinda
don't know. Yeah, I
in
think it's
between
kind of
there?
like the husks. Like it's gunky. It's gout, maybe. I don't know what it is. But
Poor guy.
he doesn't seem to mind. But yeah, just such a cool model. I'm
So
debating
good.
with myself, like, do I want to try my hand at script, like writing script? Because I know like all the 40K players with their purity seals and stuff. I'm like, is this my time to actually try?
Well, if you
Like,
do
I'm
it,
just-
you can have mine, and you can do mine too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very tempted, and I get some really fine pens.
Actually,
and
would you
stuff.
like to test on mine since you're
I
not?
say you
buying
might
a
be
bunch
able
of
to get 3
Scions?
extra ones to test
Yeah,
on.
I know
Yeah.
that. And then
Yeah, I'll just bring it to you, my friend.
Ismail, I think, also has a long scroll, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
he does.
So yeah, and then we have the actual painted model, which of course looks great. I love seeing them fully painted up, just because like my color scheme is an OSL one, so it's more very drab with bright OSL. I like seeing also just like the full color scheme of them. It's just so, and the eyes are just so cool. I'm like, do I want to even try painting this eye? Like, it's
So the
wild.
part I really love about this is the way they painted the blood vessels towards the back of the eye, where it's that red,
Yeah.
because it's like it came out. I'm like, that's super cool.
Yeah,
Well,
like I'm
and I
fully.
really love how clean his robes are for being a modified creature such that he is. His robes are just immaculate if you look at them.
Yeah.
Well, they experiment on flesh, but they still have fashion, So But yeah, let's move to the card because we got three characters, three officers coming out, and so our first one, of course, is the tutor. 25 points with one command point, or yeah, command point. Is that what they are? I can't
Token,
remember.
command
Token,
token.
command
Command
token. He's
token.
got the little Spartan helmet to show that he's an officer. We got a move of 4/3 with a charge of 9, 2 wounds, a orange and yellow willpower, morale of 2, and you can of course only have one of our eyeball friend here. Keywords are character, dark-minded, and elf. So this isn't one of the elf characters. Dispel blue dice, blue die, and then join infantry. Melee is going to be 2 orange, 2 yellow, and then defense is going to be 1 green, 3 black. With the passive untouchable, target all allied units within 7 strides. The targets add a blue to their attack and defense rolls, a blue die to their attack and defense rolls, and then 0 conquest value or objective control conquest value. Yeah. Where I think the tutor shines is in the attached ability. You definitely want to attach this person. The unit they're attached to gain an orange willpower, gain an orange willpower die, gain 1 morale. In melee, you can stress them or modify them to get a hit, and then they give the switch of 2 specials is allowing them to reduce their stress by 1. And then defense is you can stress for the modifier of a hollow shield. And then if you have a hollow shield and 1 special as their switch, you can heal 1 damage. They have the command ability back off. Once per round, target an enemy unit within 7 strides at the beginning of the target's activation. The target must perform a willpower test. They need 2 successes. For every unobtained hit, it suffers 1 stress. If the target doesn't get any hits in the test, its activation ends. And then it has 2 passives. The Hands of the Architect. The unit gains Dispel blue die, 1 blue die. When you are the target of a charge or an assault, you may hold and shoot using your attack roll, which is kind of fun, depending on who you add them to. And then Untouchable is the last passive. Target all allied units within 7 strides. The target adds the blue defense die to their attack and defense rolls. And so that is our tutor. What do we think? Do we feel like learning from our tutor?
I think he is going to be a great defensive speed bump to stick right in the middle of your Scions.
I agree with that, and using that back off command ability, if you can use that to target an enemy unit that is frightened, you've got a much bigger chance of ending their activation before they do anything.
The other tricky thing is with Untouchable, you have to remember it does require line of sight.
All of it does.
Now with hold and shoot,
untouchable
like,
and back off.
that doesn't matter if it's a melee attack, right?
For this ability, it doesn't matter.
It does not matter. That's pretty
Correct.
good.
However, you do need to specifically not have an activation token because all the other rules
Correct.
for hold
Still
and shoot
apply.
still apply.
Yep. Makes sense.
So far, there's only one model I think we've seen that removes that, and it's printed specifically on the card, and that's Syzygian.
Oh, and also with Untouchable, remember, a unit is allied to itself.
Yes, great point.
So the tutor gives his unit a blue in both attack and defense.
Yep.
Pretty good. Probably costed correctly. 25 points for a lot of stuff you get with that.
Yeah.
Seems
Scions,
I'd agree.
Scions have a lot of nice. You get a lot. Like this is me coming from Northern Tribes, who has like pretty expensive units. Scions has provided a unique challenge where a lot of their units are cheaper, so there's a lot of like flexibility and like a lot of plugging characters into units, and it's been really interesting to see a lot of these lower point characters.
Very cool.
But the other model in the box is a 2-for-1. So it's Master Mayeli. What did we say? We had it set on how to pronounce it, and then I forgot.
I've always said it Maeli.
Mayeli.
Maeli?
There you go. Yes. So Mayeli is our named puppeteer, but then you also, of course, get the puppeteer, which was debuted in the Warcrow Adventures box, and is one of my favorite sculpts of that box. Is the puppeteer. I think the puppeteers are really cool, and this model, I mean, the spikes coming out, it looks like she's like weaponized tinge and turned it into spikes. And you have all the wonderful body horrors that a puppeteer, an elven necromancer would have. Functionally, is what she is. She's got like this corrupted halo. She's got these. I don't even know what the floating spikes are around her hands, her monstrous hands. But then once again, like we mentioned earlier, the really elegant outfits, right? So it's like this horror while they're still trying to maintain this air of elven, aristocracy that the dark-minded elves once held, and of course the creepy mask.
What just kind of occurred to me is like, I wonder what our Scion cosplayer might come up for this.
Ooh,
Straight
yeah.
Cat G is her handle. Corvus Belly actually just posted something about her yesterday. So I was like, when I saw this, I'm like, oh, I wonder if something is going through her mind on how
Yep.
to
I
create
mean,
this.
I would love it if somebody even made this mask, like an STL of this, I'd love to print that off and do like a prop of that, because the mask and the concept art, you don't see what they finally did with it, but you can see in the render of the model is the mask was like broken, and then Maeli has fused it back together. If you've ever seen any of like the Japanese art where they fix broken things with gold,
Mm-hmm.
it's like she did that, but they're also a little bit more horrifying. So it's that I think that's really cool. So the mask, when you look at the painted version of the model, is all
I
fixed
would
up.
actually love to see someone paint it with the gold.
Yeah,
They
that's what I was.
sounded like they'd done it. I would love to see that.
I mean, like if somebody, yeah, I'd love to paint one up, because I want to start also focusing on painting props, just something to get away from the little minis, and that would be a cool thing.
The thing that creeps me out the most is the feet.
Yeah, or lack thereof.
Yeah, whatever they've
Do you think it's like one
decided to
big
turn.
toenail, like one big?
She's a ballet dancer.
Yeah,
She is a permanent ballet on point.
Permanent ballet dancer. My wife can attest to that and be like, oh, that's sheer torture.
oh
Yep.
my gosh.
And we have a sculpt.
Yes, wonderful sculpt. I like how they, this character is functionally flying, and there's no flight stands. It's all really well sculpts that make the model look as if they're in flight while still having them connected to the base, which is very nice with the basing love I have. The love of basing just thinks it's so cool.
Would you possibly say you're all about that base?
I'm all about that base.
Okay.
Wow,
Every
pun
base, yeah.
intended.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll go there. I mean, Jake was throwing the dad jokes. I might as well add a few.
Yeah.
It's
And
all good, man.
honestly, it's good to see somebody use a joke that is not about body parts with the Scions, because those are
Yes, that's a
those
great
are
point.
pretty easy to get. But
Scions,
speaking of
flesh elves, whatever you want to call them.
whatever you want to call them, let's get to the cards. So, Master Mela, once I don't, I'm just
Melee.
Maeli?
Mayali.
Maeli, Master
Man, we need
Maeli.
like we need a session with Hoopu to be like,
Yeah.
Okay, real
all
quick,
right.
do me a favor. I think we skipped over the painted version
Yes.
a little
Oh
quickly.
yeah, I
like-
think I was already talking about it with the paint,
He was.
filigree
was.
cracks, and it's just horrifying.
okay.
And cool.
It's
It's just like conveying the aristocracy of the elves with the horror of what they've become.
I think personally the biggest problem I'm gonna have when I go to paint this is making sure I differentiate between the bottom of the on point feet
Yeah.
and the tinge underneath it. Finding that specific line to differentiate.
Or you can just do it kind of like how they have a gradient here. I mean, you could do
Yeah, could do that too.
a gradient.
I mean, I could try. We'll see. We'll see. how the technique goes. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
To the
let's take a
card. To the card.
to the card. So Master whatever is 30 is going to cost you 30 and has 2 command tokens. Once again, another character, officer, movement of 4/3 with a charge of 11, elves and all that stuff. Wounds, 3 wounds, willpower, red and orange die, 2 morale, and of course you can only have 1. This is a character, dark-minded elf and virtuoso. Dispel with a green die, spellcaster, and the tinge keyword, which we're all getting to learn about since it's been out for a little bit. We do lots of fun, especially for the science.
So, and this I believe is the first time we're actually seeing something with virtuoso.
Yes.
And I believe the first reference of it we saw was on the husks.
Yes, and the husks, yeah, Master M, who I'm going to call this character, and
I like it.
sounds like an X-Men character. Master M and the puppeteer are 100% all about the husks. So I'm dreading and excited to see somebody across the table from me just with these guys walking down. But ranged attack on Master M is going to be a range of 12 with a red and a yellow die for attack there. Ranged attack. Melee attack is going to be an orange and a yellow die. And then defense is 2 blues. There are no switches on any of these abilities. And then there's a 0 conquest value. Now we get to the spells. And I do have to say, I love once again, as a DM, I get to make up spells. I love the names of the spells for the Scions. I just think they're so cool.
Yep.
So here we have Carmine Thorns. And target an enemy unit within 12 strides. Resolve a ranged attack of value red, 2 orange, and a yellow die against the target. The target needs 2 blocks to cancel each of your hits. You can spend tinge. After resolving the effects of the spell, an allied risen unit within 7 strides of the target receives a tinge and is placed engaged with the target. And then you can spend another one of your tinges. After resolving the effects of the spell, an allied risen unit engaged with the target resolves an attack against it. Do we want to stop there and
let's
debrief
talk
that?
about that real quick.
Because that's kind of crazy.
That's a lot. So
she pulls out the glue gun and glue guns some husks.
Now, the thing to remember is they're alterations. So you declare them when you cast the spell.
Yes.
Yep.
And you have to have the tinge before you cast the spell to be able to declare them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
On the other side, if the spell fails, you don't lose the tinge if you don't get to use it.
That was my next question. Is so if it gets blocked for whatever reason, you don't have to spend the tinge. Okay.
Here's the one thing that I think is really good with it also. The first alteration that another, an allied risen unit within 7 strides gains tinge. If that's husks and they have tinge golem, you're just giving them extra wounds to negate anything coming in later.
And on the other side, you get to choose the order in which those 2 things happen as the active player.
Yep.
So you can do theoretically both every time you cast the spell if you have enough tinge.
Yep.
Pretty good.
And it makes the breath can give tinge out, right? Or
oh yes.
Yeah, so it makes having the breath, like the breath is just a good Swiss Army like buffer you get at the beginning of the game, just to give out those tinges as soon as possible.
I mean, if I was running this, I would have 3 units of husks, Master M, and the breath, and then figure out the rest after that.
Probably do puppeteer too.
Probably.
Yeah. But we'll get there. Spoilers. We'll get there.
Well, good. I have to come up with a Scions list. So
yeah,
and I'm not a Scions player.
Then we have threaded. We have 3 passives. All passives are next. Threaded husks. Target all allied risen units within 7 strides. The targets add 1 orange to their attack rolls and gain the switch. A hollow and a solid special you need for this switch. Your target receives 1 tinge and must face the consequences of the tinge at the end of the activation. The next passive is red threads. Target an allied risen unit within 12 strides at the end of your activation. Choose one of the following. The target may perform a simple action. You may suffer 1 stress to activate the targets. And then the last passive is Disposable Puppets. Target all allied husks within 7 strides. When you suffer damage, you may take out of combat a troop from one of your targets. For each damage you suffer, instead of placing a wound token on your profile, damage is considered to be inflicted even if no damage token was placed. So there's a lot of combos there with those husks and their golem ability, their tinge golem.
Well,
So-
disposable puppets is going to go past Tinge Golem
Oh, is it?
because
right.
it says remove a troop, not deal a damage.
Yeah.
Correct. Let's go back up to threaded husks for a second here. That's going to be really, really good, I think, as long as your opponent isn't also Scions. Because from at any point, as long as you give tinge and it activates immediately, they're at minimum gaining stress. So you're helping to negate whatever unit that they're giving that to. Like if you've given this to a risen unit attacks and uses the switch, you're potentially negating extra activations for your opponent with that unit.
Yeah, I definitely think we are going to see some really skilled, like scalpel level precision Scion players who are able to make the old keyword dead flesh lists where they have a lot of these husks and they have a lot of like these kind of buff support with characters like Master M Puppeteer, Needle, all that type of stuff. And it's going to be so annoying because those husks are just going to be like sticky glue and tar, and you're just going to be stuck with them.
And with red threads, the one point I'll make here is that the very bottom item on there, you may suffer 1 stress to activate the target. That means this unit gains the stress. The other unit does the activation.
Yeah,
and because they're activating, they'll gain either an activation token if they haven't previously activated, or they'll gain stress because they're activating again. The first one is just perform a simple action. They're not activating, so they don't gain either of those.
Really, with like this and recently Feudom, like we're getting more of these passive bubbles. I feel like more than maybe Northern Tribes or Hegemony has had. It just feels like more to me. Where you have these passive bubbles and then you have to strategically think about where you're putting these people, these characters, so that they don't get ambushed, and you have to use line of sight blocking, and you have to use unit blocking to make sure you don't get charged by an ambusher unit and all this other stuff. So that chess match in that part of the game is because if you're going to play these units, like you want this person, but you also don't want them to die right away, which is really hard, I think, to do sometimes with as much ambushers are out there and things like that.
I think Jake's right about we're going to start seeing some very surgically precise Scion players with this.
Yep.
Because if you think about this, they could very easily activate Master M, move them, cast the spell, so that's their 2 simple actions. Then because the other 3 are all passives, you can do red threads to specifically activate if there's, say, a nearby husk unit. Have them do the bottom one where they actually activate, and if they charge and they stay within 7 strides, they just triggered threaded husks. Because you don't have to spend one of your simple actions to activate either of those 2.
A lot of chess match stuff going on in here. A lot of thinking. A lot. As the game evolves, we're getting more of this, I feel like.
Yeah,
and I'm here for it.
And and we're saying too, I think just based off what we saw with once again the now no longer the dead flesh, living flesh, I think we're going to start seeing a little bit some play style types kind of starting getting, especially with Scions, right? Because we have like the Dr. Frankenstein type guys that are all about the golems and like the stitching things up, more mobs and stuff, and then we have the dead, the husks, and the necromancer type characters. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see that. And with the Feudom, we have 3 high commands now. So, and they all provide different flavors of things. Take all knights, or take nobles and peasantry, or whatever you want to call them. And
I'd just like to point out the Morn Mab is not the appropriate name. It's Cuddles.
Cuddles.
It is Cuddles.
It's Cuddles.
Yes. You can get the Monopoly
He's
top
mi-
hat.
he's
put it on
he's
him.
he's misunderstood.
He
Really just wants to cuddle. That's it.
So you can be the first one in line with that.
Well, look, it's a good thing
I mean-
Albork is all about that.
I gave him the name, so yes, I will be first in line.
And so next we have the Puppeteer, who is only 5 points less at 25. Now the Puppeteer is the generic version of Master M, or should I say Master M is the named version of the Puppeteer? Who knows? But the Puppeteer is 25 points. It is one command. You get 1 command token. Once again, another character. It's an elf, so 4/3 is the move with an 11 charge. 2 wounds. You get a willpower of 2 orange, 2 morale, and then 1 AVB. The character, keywords are character, dark-minded elf, and another virtuoso. Dispel is going to be 1 blue, and then spellcaster and tinge. Similar to Master M, there's no switches on any of the defense or melee abilities, but the melee, you get an orange and a yellow die, and then on defense, you get a blue and a black die, and then you get 0 conquest. But the big things here are the spells and stuff. The aptly named Master of Puppets, wonderful song.
Could we add that in?
I'm
listening
just saying,
to it.
who's going to be the first cosplayer if somebody comes to a tournament dressed as a puppeteer, blasting Master of Puppets?
Yeah. So Master of Puppets, wonderful song. Target all allied risen units within 12 strides. Roll your willpower. You receive 1 tinge for each hit you get. You may distribute any of your tinge among the targets. And then you can spend a tinge. After resolving the effects of the spell, the targets that receive tinge may move. So very
action economy and feeding the tinge
Yes.
golem ability.
It's chess match too, because you could put those on Master M as well.
As well. Absolutely.
Power up Master M.
You can't give him to Master M. He's not.
He's not risen. He's not risen.
Oh, true. If you play Master of Puppets, can you? Will you allow it if I play Master of Puppets?
Oh, the song?
Yes.
Only if not by hitting play on something. If you are physically playing it on an instrument,
yeah,
I'll allow
you get it for that game.
Just for that game.
Then you get, of course, you get 3 passives with the Puppeteer. Grant their wishes. Target all allied risen units within 7 strides. The targets add 1 to their conquest value. You get the passive Red Threads. Target an allied risen unit within 12 strides. At the end of your activation, choose 1. The target may perform a simple action. You may suffer 1 stress to activate the target. And then the last one, disposable puppets. Target all allied husks within 7 strides. When you suffer damage, you may take out of combat a troop from one of the targets of each damage you suffer, instead of placing a wound token on your profile. Damage is considered to be inflicted even if no wound or damage tokens was placed. So it's very similar to Master M, but with a 5-point decrease. What do we think of these abilities and spell?
And I'm just now realizing the missed opportunity here to make this an all Metallica card.
Correct.
Red Threads could have been Frayed Ends of Sanity, and Disposable Heroes for Disposable Puppets.
Correct.
Could have been an entire Metallica card.
I think we're looking at a solid 85-point core to a Scion's army. Between Master M, the Puppeteer, and 3 units of husks.
And it's only 85. I mean, it's as a Northern Tribes player, I'm like, I take 2 units, I'm already at like 175. I'm like,
right.
Depending on
the units,
you could take Master M and a Puppeteer both.
Yep.
Yes. Neither one is.
Do they come
high
with
command?
Does the box come with 2 then?
No, comes with 1.
So
there's Puppeteers in the adventure stuff.
Oh, I suppose you could do that.
I have a theory that eventually we'll get the generic versions of like that and the Gunner Sergeant.
The Puppeteer was in the card pack, wasn't it?
I believe
No,
so.
progenitor.
Progenitor.
That's progenitor
was.
sculptor. Yep.
Yeah. Progenitor. Yep.
All right.
All
Last
right.
but
and
not
then
least on the Scion's
left,
trail.
we have Samara Dithian.
Yes.
Dithian, Divergent. Which is a character from Adventures who had stuff happen, and now the character has,
And we will not
much like
spoil,
Ismail has,
especially since I
has
haven't
changed.
played it yet all the way
I
through.
have also not played.
I've played. We're
Uh,
not to this point.
Yeah.
Correct.
But yeah, just a wonderful model. Once again, we have just body modifications on underneath really nice clothing, and looks like they use really good shampoo as well.
She looks pissed.
I mean, I'd be pissed too if one of my wings was that crippled.
Yeah. And yeah. But another cool mask. A lot of cool masks. I'm telling you, if you make 3D models, this is your time to shine here.
Absolutely.
All
right.
But yeah, I mean, if we go to the render, we have a wonderful tactical rock, a nice big tactical rock.
I think that's a tactical staircase.
Tactical rock
stair. Yes.
Tactical stairs.
And there is the lore that goes with that wing, but we will.
That's
not
a spoiler
spoil
for
that. That's a
Adventures.
spoiler for Adventures. So
Play
if you're
Adventures,
curious, play Adventures.
Play Adventures.
We
Or
will
I
not
guess
be
if
the
you-
ones to spoil it.
That's because we don't know it, so we can't.
We can't.
I mean, I could find out. I could just ask, but I'm not.
You
going
could
to.
just sit on the app and just click through everything.
Click. Yep.
Yeah. All right. And then we have the wonderful art with Samara in a bog of some sort.
So, and I love, and it's hard to tell on the render, but the left arm, that just corruption crawling up it, is fantastic. Like if you go back to the render for a second, you can actually, it might be a little difficult to see, but it's sculpted in. Like it's actually a withered, deformed left arm. So I love the way they painted this, and to me it just helps with the contrast of that black withered arm and the bright red sash. I love it.
Yeah. And it's just another fun nod to the cool, like we had this Ismail as well, just the fun narrative, how we can have actual characters. You know, in Infinity we see it, but characters evolving as the game, and even from Adventures to now, it's only 5 years, and it's still, we see characters changing. But let's take a look at.
And the one piece that's really hard to see on this, at least to me, initially at first pass, in Samara's right hand, is a puppeteer mask.
Yeah, as a mask.
I think that's a puppeteer mask.
Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah, so
it's
Samara.
It's in the render. It's in the sculpt. It's
Oh, I'm sorry. It might not be a puppeteer. It might be progenitor sculptor. It's one of the.
According to the render, it's what is that?
Maybe I think it looks like Nephilim's mask. It looks similar to that.
Yes, thank you. So that'd be a, oh my gosh,
progenitor.
Yeah, but which one? There's 3 different ones.
There's the sculptor. There's the dead one.
Yes, and I'm drawing a complete and utter blank right now.
Yeah, I know.
Weaver?
Thank you. Yes, progenitor weaver. Thank you.
Progenitor weaver, yes, because they weave the stuff together, yeah. All right, let's take a look at this card. So Samara Dithian, 30 points. No conquest. Nope, no command tokens. Another character officer. There Samara is an elf. So for 3 move, charge 11. 3 wounds, willpower of red and orange, 2 morale, and of course a named character. You can only have 1, so AVB 1 on that. Keywords: character, dark-minded, elf, dispel, blue die, intimidating 1, spellcaster, and tinge. Samara has a ranged attack, 12, a range of 12 ranged attack. With a you can modify it, stress for it to get a hit, but it normally has 3 orange die. You can spend 2 tinge to add 1 hit to your roll, and you can spend an additional tinge for an allied unit within 7 strides to displace them 3. So those are the 2 switches you can do. Melee, you have 2 orange and a green. That's it. No switches. On defense, you can modify to get a special, and then you get a blue and a black normally die. And then for switches, you can get a tinge. You can spend a tinge to add an allied unit within 7 strides may displace 3. And then there's also the special of receive 1 tinge. And Samara has a command value of 1 or conquest value of 1. And then we have 3 different abilities, a spell, a skill, and a passive. The spell is a new arm. Target an enemy unit within 12 strides. Resolve a ranged attack of value 2 red, 2 orange against the target. The target needs 2 blocks to cancel each of your hits. You can spend a tinge after resolving the effects of the spell. An allied unit within 7 strides may displace 3. Then you have the skill Black Rain. We've seen this with the breath. No line of sight. Once per round, target all allied units within 5 strides. The target receives 1 tinge. The targets receive 1 tinge. And then passive is Divergent. Every time a troop from an allied unit within 12 strides is taken out of combat, receive 1 tinge. When you check the effects of the tinge, you may apply Elite to your roll. So what do we?
That's big because
Yeah.
that can change suffering a wound to healing a wound.
Yes.
Say that takes all the negative effects out of the Scion's tinge, I
Samara,
think.
yeah, Samara can play. It takes the dice rolling a little bit out of it. Some of the randomness. Samara can play
'Cause I
in
think
the.
the other one is gain slowed that can be negated. If I
Let me
remember
look.
the chart correctly.
I have it on another tab. Pull it up here. But yeah, Samara, what do we think? Samara, I think, is pretty.
Seems
I
fun.
would definitely be adding, so like to add to what I said would be a good starting point of Master M, Puppeteer, Breath, 3 units of husks. I'd add Samara to that as well
Yeah.
and keep Samara and the Breath, supporting different flanks
Mm-hmm.
to be able to just keep handing out all that tinge to the
Yes.
husks and make them.
Well, and she
Potentially.
wants all the tinge she can get.
Oh yeah, because every single one of those switches is a tinge except for 1, so 3 of the 4.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking at it now on the tinge table. So if Samara changes a hollow to a solid, whether it's a hit or a block, Samara can get a tinge. Like there's a lot of stuff Samara can do. They can Samara can heal. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff. But the one thing that you can definitely get rid of is not suffering wounds, which is something that spellcasters tend to not want to do.
So true.
But a lot of movement, right? A lot of movement. So Samara allows the allies to move around a lot, so you can really start playing. Because husks are slow. If we're mainly thinking about husks are slow. So you can really start with Master M's ability, with the Puppeteer, Samara. You can really start moving these really slow units and gum up your opponent's forces, especially if it's like the Syenne, who are really big on running away, or it's Northern. Hit hard really quick. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Very nice.
Awesome stuff. And speaking of Syenne, we are not done. We have Syenne to talk about. JP.
So coming this month for the Syenne are the Syenne Sprigs. As you can see from our concept art, these are our combat veteran elves who have taken wounds in combat and then had them healed by it's the great trees that are doing the healing, right?
Yep.
Yes, you know.
God, what an interesting concept.
Seen,
what
we've
interesting
seen a
lore.
sprig previously with adventures. Una, I believe, is also considered a sprig.
Just that great little bit of armor, the wood tacked onto their forms. It's going to be a unit of 4 models. So we can look at the actual renders.
It looks so angry.
You would be.
I don't know why.
Losing
I don't
limbs.
know. They're really good at losing their arms.
You've got some shields, some vines, a little bit of spikes, lots of tactical rocks.
I'm really struggling in combat. Can we just get rid of this arm and switch it out?
Then we're going to
I
go.
like
very
it.
unique.
I
Like,
like
this
it because it's very like this adds that element of horror to the CNN that wasn't like the splash of horror to it.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm not like my fantasy lore of other fantasy type IPs isn't great, but like I haven't seen anything like this before. like this concept. So it's fresh, it's new, it's a new idea. And we have a lot of fantasy stuffs out there, but yet they can come up with something unique for this
I agree.
story. Yeah, super cool.
Then we go to our painted models.
So
The
good.
lovely greens and those magnificent bases.
The thing on this that sells it for me though is the war paint.
Yes.
Yes.
It's that war paint.
It's that very tribal.
Oh yeah.
Very Celtic.
Celtic, tribal. Yeah. I love it.
I like that they're barefoot.
That too.
Well, they
I
have to
did
be.
notice that on the artwork and the sculpts. It's like, yeah, they're just barefoot. Let's go.
And evidently they hang on to their feet because they don't have tree feet.
I was gonna say we've heard of tree huggers. I think this takes it to a different level.
Yeah. So
And
now
this
we'll
is
look at
Scott's
their
favorite
card.
faction. Your favorite faction, Scott.
Oh, absolutely.
The Sprigs are 35 points. They are a 4/4 movement with an 11 charge and 2 wounds. Their willpower is only an orange and a yellow. They have 1 morale and their availability 1. For characteristics, they're elf, infantry, nemorous, and Syenne. For their keywords, they have bloodlust, preferred terrain forest, and raging. So that bloodlust is a little bit of a... When you activate them, if there's an enemy, they have to charge them. But because they have to charge, they also have raging, which is going to give them a little bit of a perk on the charge.
Yes, because that I believe adds 1 success.
It adds 1 success. For their attack profile at full strength, they have a red, 2 orange, and a yellow, with a switch of 2 specials to give your target slowed, or a hollow hit to give your target the vulnerable state. Their defense is a green, 2 blue, and a black, and their defensive switch is 2 specials to give their target slowed. In the reduced profile, their attack drops down to 3 orange and a yellow, and they lose that vulnerable switch. And then their defense drops just a little bit. They lose one of their blue dice, and they keep that 2 special switch. For their passives, they get Seeds of the Great Forest. During the No One Gets Left Behind step, they recover a troop. And then they have Branches and Vines. Target an enemy unit engaged with you slowed. The targets cannot move or be placed.
I think they're missing one word. I think it's engaged with you gain slowed.
I think it's supposed to mean
Or all enemy units that are engaged with you that have slowed.
have slowed.
That's the other piece. I think we'll need to let them know that needs to be cleaned up a little bit.
And then in both their full strength and the reduced strength, they have 1 conquest value.
So Seeds of the Great Forest is phenomenal and a game changer for CNN players.
It's big. Yeah, there's the big struggle with a lot of the people, at least in our community, in our gaming area, where they're not able to hold points and stuff, and they run away a lot. But this allows them to really be just tough.
It finally has given CNN one of those just tank type units to be able to your point, kind of do that. And the other 2 pieces that I really like about this is it's another Nemorous unit. So we finally have another Nemorous multi-troop unit. I believe the other one is I think the Wardens, if I remember correctly, the Sienna Wardens are also Nemorous. So that can help build off of the Druid has their spell, Punish the Intruder, that you can use an alteration to do more, add more dice based on the number of Nemorous or forests, Nemorous units or forests near the target. As well as, I believe, if I remember correctly, Leo Slaith has her passive that allows for any unit within a certain distance of a forest or Nemorous unit ignores 1 wound in every combat. So it's adding more of those buffs, more of those that
Yeah.
synergy between the units.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a great synergistic unit.
And I think also, like, a lot of the units we see out there, their conquest value drops between the full strength and half strength. There's a couple that we've seen that don't, and they stay the same. But the fact that this stays the same and has that staying power that you were talking about, Jake, this really does become
Yep.
like that center, tank unit to like just put
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, and I mean we'll talk about it when we do December releases, but with their officers coming out. But the Scion are getting some really nice units that really help round them out and make them, you can hit and run, but they can also it's now allowing them to hit and run, but then choose where they want to stay and fight and lock down, and that's kind of a fun. It makes them actually, like, in the lore, how no one knows where they're going to come from, and then when they do show up, they show up in mass. And I was telling my wife, because I collect CNN for her, she likes to play CNN, and I was telling her, with all this tournament stuff, I want to do a game where I have like the entire board is just forest pieces, and I just see like if I can get a group of my faction, whatever I'm playing, to like make it to some objective, and just see with all these new CNN things coming out, because now CNN are getting a lot scarier, and I understand why people are starting to fear the forest.
That sounds like actually a really fun narrative type
Yeah,
scenario.
we should.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have to try it out.
Yep.
It's a narrative I want to work on and test out with people.
That'd be great. I think we have one last November
Yep, we
release to
do.
talk about, and this one's
We
probably
do.
gonna be pretty quick because we
My
now
babies.
have arrived at, I believe this is the second action pack. So I think Hegemony
Mhm.
was in October. So essentially, this is taking all of the orcs from Winds from the North and the Varank from Beyond Winds from the North, and packaging them, excuse me, into one single box, so you don't have to basically go out and buy the starter and have two armies. So Winds from the North itself has been retired because of these releases, because Corvus Belli really doesn't like to have multiple starter sets, like two faction starter sets, at least from what we've learned by playing Infinity, for super long. They don't like to have them overlap. And since we now have Song of the Dormant and all of the other units have been released for both Hegemony of Emberzig and Northern Tribes, it's time to repackage. They'll, basically retire Winds from the North and Beyond Winds from the North, and you can buy each one of those factions separately now.
Which is nice too, because
Stuff.
now there's 3 factions that are like this: the CNN, the Hegemony, and then Tribes. And you can really kind of, you're at the point now where if you're getting in and you want one of those 3 factions, you can get this box. You'll have some good units, and then pick something that you really like, right? If you like the War Rig, get that. If you like the Rock Troll from the Northern Tribes, get that. If you like Lada, you have a lot more flexibility where you can get some nice, well-rounded units, some core units, and then you can get something that you like for fun.
I think we need to explore with the unit type that you were just about to say, which is the War Troll.
The Rock Troll.
No, the War Troll.
Oh, the War Troll. Yeah, I mean, I'm
Combo.
happy.
Let's do a mashup.
I want Corvus Belli right now. I want you to make a War Rig the size for the Rock Troll to pilot, and I want to, because I will do whatever I can. I have said it since this game came out. I love the little fertility dude. He's my favorite little guy, and the fact that he is now the Rock Troll just makes me so happy. So if he gets a mech for himself, maybe it's one of the Colossi that are just laying around Lindworm, I'm here for it, and I'm happy to play it. I will run just him in my army if I can.
Just one guy. That's it.
Just one giant guy.
250 point profile.
Yeah.
Go.
Yep.
Boom. Kill him.
All right, that wraps up
right.
the November releases.
Yeah. So, what do we have next for our channel? I mentioned it a little bit before, but we are going to be hopefully doing our December releases soon, because December is soon. And yeah, that's pretty much just very proximally what we have. And then we'll probably talk a little bit about other stuff we have going on as we get closer to tournaments and Adepticon and all that fun stuff. But aside from that, where can you find us? So our Discord now, you can find a link of it in the description. Can they find it if it's in? Will it be in both the podcast and the YouTube?
It's
Or the
it'll probably
Spotify?
be in the Spotify description. I'll throw it in there.
Okay.
So yeah, I just got it finished this week, so we will be launching it with this material, and it's anybody who wants to join.
Yeah.
Just community talk, developing community. That's what we're here for, and we're just going to keep talking about the game within our little community. We also love some feedback on what you want to hear. There will be a channel for podcast discussions and wants and what you're interested in hearing, because we can talk about what we love all the time, but we'd love to talk about what you all are interested in as well.
And you can email us if you don't want to do the Discord route. You can email us at whispersfromtheinn@gmail.com, and then follow us on Facebook at Whispers from the Inn. And that is pretty much our whole episode for today, all about the November releases. So we hope you all have an amazing rest of whatever time of day or evening it is. And for the love of Lindworm, please stay out of the fog.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.